Let's have a look at the lowest of Starfleet officer ranks on this week's
Yeah, it's the best five, worst five, no one has seen. Yeah, it's the best five, worst five Trek's ever seen.
Most of Starfleet's fresh out of the Academy ensigns do their jobs at minimum adequately, with some going above and beyond the call of duty. The worst here are pretty superficial, and as usual, that's where we're starting. Number 5, Ensign Underused. While Harry Kim is the ensign with the most on-screen time in the franchise, he doesn't make either end of this list. Meanwhile, Enterprise would give us the most unused main character of any across Star Trek, Travis Mayweather. His entry here isn't for anything the character did wrong, or anything against Anthony Montgomery's acting. This is directed squarely at the writers and producers for giving us only one Travis-centered episode in 4 seasons. It's a bad sign in the first episode and sets the tone for this character when Archer orders Mayweather to take her out of space dock and we go straight to the ship porn without showing us the helm. This is a character that deserved much better. Number 4, Ensign Overburdened. If you've watched this channel for any amount of time, you know Mary Wiseman has been my favorite actress across Discovery. However, purely looking at Tilly's time as an ensign, she gets mediocre at best marks. She went from the wonderfully overeager cadet that always gave 110% to an ensign that seems lost, yet is for no apparently good reason given the role of first officer. This is way out of her league, and the first time the captain leaves the ship, Tilly loses control of it pretty quick. While this definitely reflects more poorly on Saru for leaving her in command despite choices of more experienced officers, Tilly's overall C- performance as an ensign earns her a place here. Number 3, Ensign Exocomp. While Peanut Hamper is a lower decks character played for laughs, with so few poor ensign depictions, this exocomp that abandons ship at the first sign of trouble sure belongs here. I'd like to think that if Data had survived into the 2380s, he wouldn't be all that pleased with the second known synthetic life form in Starfleet that he helped gain rights of sentience. Looks like we'll be seeing Peanut Hamper again in Lower Decks' 3rd season. Number 2, Ensign Mass Murderer. While it started as a just following orders kind of thing, Marla Gilmore aboard the USS Equinox participated in the killing of many live beings from another layer of subspace, all in an effort to get home sooner. While she's the first one on the crew to give in to her guilt and try to reverse course on the practice, it's still one of the most egregious violations of the Prime Directive we've seen an ensign participate in. The worst ensign in Starfleet history? Ensign Dumb as a Rock. Considering the rigorous levels of testing it takes to get into Starfleet Academy, I have to wonder how Fletcher actually had the aptitude to begin with, let alone make it through 4 years. By the time he ends up on the Cerritos, he's way more than a green, inexperienced officer that somehow one day would be expected to lead others. As apparent when he's promoted to the Titan and demoted back to Earth inside of a week. Stupid, stupid Fletcher. Being transferred to the best Starfleet ensigns. Number 5, Ensign Bedside Manner. Out of the 4 original Lower Decks ensigns, we're giving our nod to Alyssa Ogawa as the most rounded out of the bunch. While Sito Jaxa made the ultimate sacrifice, Nurse Ogawa seems to be the most in tune with Starfleet ideals, is very practical, and the best depiction of a nurse until maybe the new iteration of Christine Chapel. Unlike Harry Kim, it only took her a little over 3 seasons to get that hollow pip. Number 4, Ensign Solutions. Out of the Lower Decks Big 4, we'd like to honor Samantha Rutherford for being one of the best ensigns we've seen across Trek. While his friends and shipmates get him into a fair amount of strange situations, he's never the cause of the problem, and quite often the solution. He reasons through situations at a high level, sometimes thanks to his mysteriously implanted piece of cybernetics. Out of his cohort, he's the most Starfleet of the bunch. Number 3, Ensign Underdog. Laren is the champion of the downtrodden. Although she would end her career in Starfleet to join the Maquis, it was the logical end to her character arc on TNG. She mostly tried to distance herself from her crewmates, but she wasn't afraid to go out on a limb for those she doesn't know. In beta canon, the first book in the Dominion War series has Picard running into and teaming up with Ro, and they end up freeing Ensign Lavelle from a Dominion prison camp. Ro is the first depiction in the franchise of someone that's highly talented but falls out of grace in the ranks of Starfleet, and she does it masterfully. Number 2. Ensign Growing Pains. While Travis was the ensign that got the worst end of the stick in Enterprise, Hoshi's is a tale of growth through the show's run. The first few episodes of Season 1 don't show her to be a capable Starfleet officer, and simply the ship's earpiece. In this time, Hoshi herself questions if she's made the right decision in joining a crew on man's first deep space quest. As the series progresses, she gradually grows her confidence and talents while confronting her fears head-on. By her last in-timeline appearance, she's left in command, and everything she's been through over the last 4 years actually make this ensign in the big chair a better idea than Tilly as first officer. Hoshi is one of my favorite characters in Trek because of the growth she experiences. And the best ensign in Trek? Number 1. Ensign Awesome. From petty thief to poster boy of Starfleet ideals by the time he gets his first pip, Nog is easily the greatest ensign story we've seen in the franchise. From the first Ferengi to enter Starfleet Academy to captain of the Chimera, Nog shows a level of perseverance unmatched by others at the ensign level. He's always on high alert and ready to do his duty, including sacrificing his leg for the Federation. While, like Hoshi, his character goes through a ton of growth, by the time he completes a shortened Academy experience, he's already 110% ready for duty, and just needs the discipline and experience to attain his goals of being the first Ferengi captain in Starfleet. Sadly, in the rash of new Trek shows, we'll never again see the late great Aaron Eisenberg in the role. Though a recast is always a possibility. It took someone that grew up in the hyper-capitalist Ferengi society to show us the best model of a Starfleet officer yet. Who's your favorite ensign in Star Trek?